Hello, welcome to episode 32 on how to make a GTA 5-star game in Unity 3D. Today we're going to be starting on vehicles. We're just going to be doing the jets first, just because they're like the most interesting one. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to get into physics. So I'm just going to quickly make a jet out of a few cubes. Create cube. So let's just make it long and slightly wider. And then I'm not a modeler for a reason. Right. And then back like that. Oops. Rotate it. And there we go. That'll do. Okay, so I'm just going to create an empty game object and name it jet. So I'm just going to quickly set the wings. So body front underscore wings, back underscore wings, and then tail. And set the body as jet, as a child of a jet. Cool. There we go. So there's our amazing jet. Actually, I'm going to scale it up a little bit. I'm going to make some fake wheels as well. So I'll just copy that. A little bit shorter. Like that. So very empty. Wheels. Back underscore wheel underscore right, and then do the same over here, underscore L. Then we'll do the front wheel. So at the front, there. So then front underscore wheel. There we go. So now we need to go into scripts. I'm going to create a new folder within the scripts and name it vehicles. And then we need to create a new C# script. So create C# script. Jet. So we're going to set up all the variables first, which actually won't be many. Well, that's a lie. There will be a few. So just open it up. So we need to first of all go public transform actually public game object back wheel right, and then public game object back wheel left, public game object front wheel, and then we want 3 private transforms. So just transform trans underscore back wheel right, transform trans underscore back wheel left, and then transform trans underscore front wheel. And then in start we need to go trans underscore back wheel left equals back wheel left dot transform trans underscore back wheel right equals back wheel right dot transform, and trans underscore front wheel equals front wheel dot transform. The reason we're doing that is because we don't want to have to access every time we want the transform. We don't want to have to go back wheel left dot transform, because that is basically a get component call, which can be quite bad for performance. So I'm just going to quickly scale the wheels down a bit more, something like that, and then bring it up. There we go. So now let's drag our jet script on, and back wheel right, back wheel left, and front wheel rather. Cool. So now let's create a. Let's not actually. No, never mind. So now we need to do the inputs. So we need to go float mouse X and float mouse Y, and then update. We go mouse X equals input dot get axes mouse X with a capital M and then a space, capital M mouse space capital X, and then mouse Y equals input dot get axes mouse Y with the same format. So there we go. There's some variables. That jet is looking truly amazing. Okay, so now we need to, in update again, is create a vector3, a local vector3. Vector3 control torque, I guess, equals new vector3 mouse X for the X. For the Z we need mouse Y. And for the Y we just need to put 1.0 F. The F makes it a float. Okay, so now we need to create two new variables. They're going to be public, so let's have at the top. Public float MaxForce, and then public float MaxVelocity. And then we want just float cur force, and float cur. That's a thing. Float cur velocity. So that's the forces and velocity for the main going forward, I suppose you could say. And then we need public float MaxTailForce, and then public float MaxTailVelocity, and then float curtail force, float curtail velocity. There we go. So there are that's completely wrong. Spelled it wrong. Okay, so there's our new variables. So we need to go. We need to create a vector3 a public global vector3. So it needs to be private though, private, and then just torque value. So then under torque control, we set that when to go torque value equals new vector3, not new vector3, equals control torque times max force times cur velocity. Okay, and then we need to go rigidbody dot add relative force torque, no, that's wrong. Transform dot forward times, actually we can do this actually. We're going to do it so transform is always stored, so we don't have to constantly do the get component thing for local transform either. So we're just going to go transform underscore trans, and then in start I want to go underscore trans equals transform. So then we can, where we have transform.forward, just replace it with underscore trans.forward, and then we want to do times max force, like we have up there, and times velocity, curve velocity. Go away. So let me just see. We shouldn't have any errors, but if we do, I will just check. It's compiling. sure why this is taking so long. I'll pause it while it compiles. Okay, one thing I did do wrong was we want to put fixed with a capital F in front of update, because that fixed update is where you meant to do the physicsy stuff in. So under Rigidbody add relative force, we want to go torque value minus equals, open bracket, vector 3 dot up times max force times, that's wrong, max tail force times tail velocity, and then obviously to end the line with the semicolon. And then we want to go rigidbody dot add relative torque torque value. Okay, so there's that. There's physicsy stuff done. So now we have all these variables, but there's a lot more we need to do, like assign what curve velocity is and all that. But fingers crossed, when we rotate, hold on. Oh yeah, we haven't assigned those variables. It's gonna crash, isn't it? Right, the reason it crashed was because I forgot to put a rigid body on it. Because I'm an idiot. Come on. Rigid body. There we go. So we want to use physics. Want to increase the drag. So I don't know, 2. Let's do that. Mass will be, well, mass. I think it's done in kilograms. So I'll just look up what the weight of a jet is. It weighs 19,000 kilograms. So 1900. 19,000? Yeah. 1900. No, it was 19,000. God. What is happening today? Right, so do we have prefabs? We do, so I'm just going to drag this jet into our prefabs folder. Okay, so now I'm actually going to turn off gravity and see, it should rotate now with with the mouse, and it doesn't for some reason. Why not? Yeah, I know why. Ignore that. Right, so let's continue on with the script. Right, so now we need to create 2 new floats. Let's do them under mouse X and mouse Y and name it float V and float H. Right, so now we need to do void update, not fixed update, so update with a capital U. And then we need to go V equals input dot get axes string vertical. And then H equals input dot get axes horizontal. Like that. Cool. Okay, so now we need to go curve velocity equals plus equals V times 0.001 F, and then we want to go curve velocity equals mathf dot clamp 0. Oh, what's wrong? Curve velocity 0. Oh my god. Comma 0, comma 1. So that will clamp it between 0 and 1. So now we need to go float idle tail velocity, which is the velocity of the back wings, so it can be stable in the air. Equals, open brackets, max force times curve velocity, close brackets, divided by max tail force. Cool. Then we want to go curve tail velocity equals idle tail velocity minus H. All these are just used so they don't spin out of control, and I think that's it done. So, and then we need to set up the MaxForce, MaxVelocity, and MaxTailForce. all that. So hold on just a minute. Right, I did a bit of a problem. First of all, it was that I had the jet in the wrong rotation and at the wrong position, so it was like there, and then it was going backwards. So we just want to make sure it's all facing the right direction. So the blue arrow is facing forward. That was a mistake I did. And the other mistake was in the add relative force in the fixed update, you don't want transformed at forward, you want vector 3.forward. So now if I quickly disable the game manager and add a smooth follow, make it smooth follow the jet, we will see that it looks a bit funny. Zoom it out a bit, go a bit higher. And as you can see, we are flying the jet. There we go. Oh, one other thing I did that I actually forgot to say was in the control torque in fixed update, you want to put mouse Y as the X value and mouse X as the Z value. And for the MaxForce, the TailForce, the MaxTailForce, the MaxVelocity, all that, the values will be in the description for that, because you go into the E's times 7, it's like the standard form thing. So yeah, so now there's the jet. So now what we're going to do is the getting in logic, although it's been 16 minutes, so I will leave that till next week. Thank you very much for watching. I will leave you to play around with this amazing jet, made of cubes. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.